Hey, what's going on, everybody? Brian Mead here. Going to do a profile of my DDD deck for you. Did pretty good over the weekend with this. Took fourth in a NSS tournament. Only lost was to Cosmos. So, yeah. Spoilers. Has a warning. Alright, so for starters, I've got 3 copies of Kepler. Kepler will let you search out a dark contract whenever he is normal or special summoned, well, at least once per turn. And he's got a nice big scale of 10, which is pretty helpful in pendulum summoning when you do occasionally pendulum summon. 2 copies of Savant Galilee. This will let you, you can discard this from your hand to bounce a DD or dark contract card back to your hand. So, like, you can normal summon the Kepler, get your search, and then bounce it back to the hand, and, maybe place it in the pendulum zone. Plus, this, can load up your graveyard, which is kind of nice. Give you some extra banishing fodder. 3 copies of DDD Rebel King Leonidas. As long as he's on the field, you can't take any effect damage. And if you take effect damage, you can special summon him from the hand and regain the damage that you had just lost. So, he's nice. Then there is DDD Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok. He's kind of like the MVP of the deck, in my opinion. He's got a nice big 3,000 defense. 2,200 attack isn't bad either. If he's in the pendulum zone and you special summon a DD monster, you can special summon a DDD monster out of your graveyard. If he gets special summoned, you can special summon a DD monster out of your graveyard. And that's just wonderful for combo plays, getting your Xyz summons off, all sorts of good stuff. Next, I got 3 copies of DD Swirl Slime. You can discard Swirl Slime and another DD card from your hand to fusion summon, and then you can banish him onto your graveyard in order to special summon a DD monster out of your hand. So what's really nice is you can pitch him and another monster, fusion summon, and then you can banish him, special summon him out of your hand, then his effect will activate and special summon another monster out of the graveyard. Next we got 2 copies of DD Necro Slime. Necro Slime, you can banish it and another DD in order to fuse out of the graveyard. 2 copies of DD Baphomet. DD Baphomet, kind of like Gaga Cowboy, you can target a different DDD monster, or excuse me, a different DD monster, and change its level to whatever you want, so it just helps you Xyz summon. And then 2 copies of Max C, because it's Max C. Alright, then the spells, we got 3 copies of Dark Contract with the Gate. This is just, it's 10 key every turn. But every turn you can take 1,000 damage, supposedly. And then we got 1 copy of Dark Contract with the Swamp King. This just lets you use Fusion Summon. But you really only need 1. Just got 2 copies of Transmodify. Transmodify is really nice because you can do things like summon the Arc, and then you activate Transmodify and special summon Ragnarok, which is an 8 going off of a 7. They're both fiends. And then his effect will activate and you can just special summon this back out of your graveyard. So it's just really nice. Then we got 2 copies of Chicken Game. This is just so good in this deck, because if your life points are lower than your opponent's life points, you can't take any damage. So you can play Chicken Game, you pay 1,000, you draw a card, and then your opponent, maybe they even use it and they draw a card. Well, then it comes back to you, and maybe you burn for 1,000 points or something, but even if you have a whole bunch of different DDD cards, as soon as your life points go lower than your opponent's, you're not burning for any of the DDD damage, and it can just protect you. Plus, you're going to make your opponent pay it off because they have to keep up. And it's actually kind of cool because it's in my opinion, it's kind of like what Chicken Game should be used for, not like that degenerate OTK stuff. Plus, it's really nice just to get the extra draw every turn. So, yeah. Next, I got one copy of Pot of Riches. This is actually really good in here. I was running Allure of Darkness, but Allure of Darkness, the problem is that you end up banishing the cards that you want all the time. And that's just a pain. So I switched over to Pot of Riches, and it works a lot better because things like Kepler, once Kepler gets destroyed, it's going to go to your extra deck, and it's a level 1, and it's not going to get summoned back. So why not shuffle it back into the deck, potentially get another search off of it, or put it back in the Pendulum Zone to do more Pendulum Summoning later, and you get, to draw. So that's just better, I found. Next, I got one copy of Foolish Burial. Can ditch your Swirl Slime, you can ditch your Necro Slime, ditch Oblivion King, whatever you need to. One copy of 1-for-1, Special Summon the Kepler. One copy of Burial from the Different Dimension, put the Necro Slime or the Swirl Slimes, or whatever happened to get banished, back into the graveyard so that you can fuse for it again later, or fuse for things again later. One copy of Raigeki. Glare. Because, it's Raigeki. And then that does it for the spells. Then I've got two copies of Dark Contract with Errors. This card is absolutely amazing because it's like a trap stun repeatedly every turn you want it, and it comes into play a lot with some of the other cards that we play, so I'm just going to set it aside to explain it here in a minute. And then I've got one copy of Dark Contract with the Witch. Which is nice because you can discard to get a little bit of destruction out of it, but you really don't want to empty your hand that much. And a lot of things can't be targeted now. So I mean, it's good, but it's not great. Okay, so next we've got Vanity's Emptiness and Skill Drain, and I'm going to bring these out at the same time because what's great about these two cards is Dark Contract with Errors. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to use Contract with Errors on your turn to turn off your Vanities or your Skill Drain or both, and just get all the advantages of not having the floodgates on the field. Plus you don't have to worry about things like Torrential or Bottomless or Warning, because no traps are going to do any good. And then your turn is going to end, and Vanities and Skill Drain are going to reactivate, and your opponent is just like, oh, I hate life. And this is actually a big part of why I won yesterday, because to main deck this, and just that's an easy, if you put Skill Drain out against Magic Specters, they cry, because all of a sudden Raccoon is not doing them any good at all. So yeah. Then I've got one copy of Call of the Haunted. Just really awesome to bring back the Oblivion King, which then activates his effect to special summon another one out of the graveyard. And then finally one copy of Solemn Warning, because it's warning, and gotta stop those summons. And then in the extra deck, got 3 copies of Oracle King. Whenever you would take effect damage, you instead gain that much life points. So he makes you live. Plus, he's the only straight monster that can be used with 2 DD monsters. So this is what you're going to be doing with this. Is how you can, Swirl Slime or Necro Slime will always be going for him. Then I got one copy of DDD Wave Oblivion King Caesar Ragnarok. This guy's really awesome because if your opponent has 2 monsters on the field, you attack the weaker one, and then his effect will activate, and you can take the stronger one and equip it to him and gain that monster's attack as attack to him. So oh look, I took your 2000 attack monster, and now my monster has 5200 attack points, which is just ridiculous. And it's a non-targeting effect, a non-destruction effect, so that gets around Magic Specters, or you can really mess up a Dark Destroyer, whatever. We got one copy of DDD Duodon King Kali Yuga. He's a Heavy Storm Either player's turn, you can get your your Dark Contract cards back from your graveyard with him, and when he's summoned, he just like shuts down everything. It's like, oh, and by the way, I'm gonna attack you now, and this is happening. Just deal with it. One copy of DDD Wave King Caesar. I really don't summon this that often, but when I do, you can attach an Xyz material, and then at the end of the battle phase, any DD monsters that are destroyed in battle, or just destroyed in general, they get to come back. So that's good. And then I got one copy of DDD Marksman King Tell, which you can just like overlay on top of the Wave King Caesar. So if the Wave King Caesar like gets mirror forced and then it comes back by its effect, it won't have Xyz material anymore. So then you can just upgrade into the Marksman King Tell. Get back Dark Contract cards is primarily what I use him for. One copy of Heartland Drago. You have all the Dark Contracts, so there's continuous spells to keep them, protected. Plus, get that 2,000 guaranteed damage in is nice. One copy of 101 Salanana Arc. One copy of Castell. One copy of number 11 Big Eye. One copy of Draco Sack. One copy of Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord Homunculus. You can discard cards with this. Like you can discard your Necro Slime and then use a non-targeting effect to blow up their nasty monster. One copy of Felgrand. And then right now I have one copy of 107. However, I'm waiting on a Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon in the mail, and so as soon as that comes in, that'll be replacing this. So that is the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear them and answer questions or whatever. And feel free to hit the like button and comment and subscribe, and yeah. Alright, talk to you later, guys. Peace.